But speaking of the great state of Florida, we do have we got some news on some other Miami teams that happened. UCF, of course, not the only team that happened to be playing right before we get into the main slate of games that were happening on Saturday. So the Miami Hurricanes were also in business. They opened up their season against another team that also happens to be named the University of Miami. This is the Miami Redhawks. Now, the Miami Redhawks were quite the exciting team to watch. I actually do like their uniforms, don't get me wrong. I think they have some of the nicer helmets in the MAC, but those uniforms did not help them out against Miami. And the big thing with the Miami Hurricanes is when they took on weaker non-conference opponents last year that were not in the FCS, I do really think that they took them for granted. And it also didn't help that Miami, they were a team last year that didn't have a fully healthy Tyler Van Dyke either. Tyler Van Dyke was a quarterback that had some issues being healthy last year. I think I read that he was dealing with some shoulder issues last year. Miami fans, let me know if I'm wrong or if I'm misspeaking on that. But Tyler Van Dyke was not fully healthy. That's the general consensus here. So they took on the Miami Redhawks. And Miami, they closed this game out. It was a 16.5 point favorite. In Miami, they actually showed up and played. Tyler Van Dyke in particular could have some indications early on that he's back to his normal self, possibly. This is a quarterback that went 17 of 22, so he didn't do much in this game, but he was, efficient with the football for the most part. 200 yards of passing, but did throw an interception. But it's a step in the right direction for the passing game for Tyler Van Dyke. However, what was really good for Miami in this game was Miami's ability to run the football. Oh boy, did they run over the Redhawks of Miami. Southern Miami had 250 yards of running. They averaged 7 yards a carry. It's pretty good stuff. That is pretty good stuff. Easy way to wear down an opponent that way as well. So needless to say, they outgained the Northern Miami team 493 to just 215. Only 215 yards managed by the Miami Redhawks offense. Northern Miami, they are led by their quarterback, Blaine Gabbert. Gabbert, the younger brother of a guy that was actually still is the Brett Gabbert. He's the brother of backup quarterback Blaine Gabbert. Okay, so if that name sounds familiar to you, that's why. He's got a brother who is in the NFL. Not a premium NFL quarterback, but an NFL quarterback nonetheless. He did hit some big throws. Kobe Young, he hit Kobe Young for 44 yards. Got a score off of that. Mark Fletcher Jr., a true freshman, I believe. He scored on a 26-yard run on the first drive of the second half as well. So he ran the ball extremely well there. Just a good, feel-good performance for Miami. One that they really needed given how much the rails went off for this Hurricanes team last year. Really good performance by the Miami Hurricanes. And they needed all the confidence that they can get because they're going to have a good non-conference matchup, in my opinion. Now, this would not be considered a top 25 matchup by AP poll standards if we're going to look towards next week. But next week, Miami Hurricanes are going to be taking on Texas A&M. That is down in Miami, Florida as well. Texas A&M not only ranked in the AP top 25, they're also, for me, power rated in the top 25 as well. I have them at number 22. Miami, I'm higher on than what a lot of other people are right now. I think Miami is better than what people give them credit for. And I think we're going to have a good game on our hands this upcoming weekend. I think this Miami and Texas A&M game is going to tell us a little bit more about both of those teams as we get closer to the end of college football season. Redhawks, on the other hand, I know it's a 35-point loss, but I'm not freaking out about Miami of Ohio by any means. They still have their full season in front of them. They can still compete for the MAC. No harm, no foul there. They do have UMass on the road. UMass is an improved team, so that could be a good matchup to watch out for those of you that have that Sickos committee inside you. They also take on the Bearcats of Cincinnati in their annual rivalry game. You love to see it. So, rest of their schedule, Miami will be the toughest team that the Red Hawks will face all year long. They can use it as a learning experience, and now we got to move forward and try to get better. All right, so we took a little bit of a break for a quick moment to eat some dinner. Had some great shrimp scampi, by the way, from the wife. Shout out to the wife for that. So the line's a little bit different than maybe at the beginning of the pod. That's why we took a break so that we can actually have some time to eat.